Hello, guys. Welcome to lecture 3 of Answering Orientation. In this chapter, we'll be looking at effective studying methods. Okay, so we want to help you to know about the studying characteristic at university and also effective studying methods. We want to help you to plan and practice studying method and self-motivate effective study, and also want you to believe and be active in applying the effective studying methods. Okay, so we have some content. First, the characteristic of study at university, and then we introduce the effective studying methods. And the third part, we talk about motivation for your study. The next part, we talk about effective methods in exam, and finally some advice. So this chapter is a bit long, so I guess we need about 4 clips. Okay, so let's talk about studying at university. So we have a lot of challenge because of these globalization, advance in the technology, the knowledge economies, and too much knowledge. A person must learn to live and work. And the last variation in labor assignment and also human resource training is changing with the labor market. The problem with us Vietnamese people is that our country start at a very low level. So we are categorized as a developing country. Okay? So the only potential we have is our human resource. And there are some new concepts about studying at university. The first one is lifelong learning. You learn along the way. Your learning will not stop. Your learning will not stop when you complete your degree. And also the training quality, the modern human resource must be the thinking manpower and entrepreneurial manpower. And some essential capability for trainee at the university or student essential is the creativity, the adaptivity, the teamwork, and also the ability to self-study, self-train, self-evaluate for self-development. Okay. So UNESCO has identified the 4 pillars of learning in this century. Okay. So first we learn to know. Secondly, we learn to do. And thirdly, we learn to be. And finally, we learn to live together. So there are 4 pillars of learning. Okay. We have identified some common problem faced by all the students around the world. So I don't want to read this list. Just check to see if you have any of them. So we have 2 slides. Okay. The next A on this slide. And then now some factor affect our study. Okay. First, the passive habit. Vietnamese students tend to be more passive comparing to the foreign student. And most of us don't know how to do self-study. Okay? Next problem, lack of teamwork skill. So we are trying to introduce the teamwork skill right in this course in semester 1 of your program so that you can have enough time to practice. It is one of the most important skills that new graduates are required to possess by employer. I asked many employers and they say the same thing. Okay. Vietnamese students are incapable of functioning in teams Firstly, because of the culture, we don't tend to work together like European country or Western country. Secondly, we're not trained to do that. Okay. And the fourth problem, our society prefer the degree to knowledge. So most of the time, okay, they look at your degree, they look at the title, not trying to check your knowledge, your skill or your capability. The fifth factor, negativity, okay, achievement disease. Six, some of you will have to work for a living, so extracurricular work jobs. And the seventh, fearful of hardship. So you don't want to do hard work. So that's okay. And here we want to show you that in university, studying environment and the work is very different from high school study. So first, we have huge knowledge in the university. It's almost a science in its own. And in one course, you have many activities. You have to listen to the lecturer, discuss, do homework, conduct some experiment, practice, do a project, give a presentation, and conduct research. And you have them all in my course, for example. And a lot of information source and material to go through. So a lot of stuff. And studying quality depends on the capability, your emotion, your methods, your efforts. Okay, and you need to also do a lot of supporting work to complete with the time and other constraints. Okay, you must perform well independently and also as a team member. So that's the difference. Let me talk a little more about credit system, because we are using a credit system in 1993. Okay, so a credit is an average workload for learners, and normally when we design program, you have about 16 credit on average in each semester. So 1 year you have 32 credit, and for 4 years your program should be around 128 to 132 credit, and that is the workload for 4 years. Okay, so one credit will include the studying time in the class, the studying time in the lab under supervision of your instructor or your mentor, and also we are counting the self-studying time. You do your study at home or with your group. The second thing is the teaching and learning philosophy in a credit system. Okay, so there are two training philosophy: the teacher center and the learner center. The teacher center means that the teacher is the center, and then he will provide whatever the teacher has. And learner center is the way when we teach, we have the learner at the center. We try to help the learner to gain knowledge, okay, to practice skill, to be more confident and more independent, and each of them will have their own plan to go through to complete the program. Okay, so in a credit system, almost every course will have at least 2 in the 3 teaching methods. First, we have lecture notes. Secondly, we have practice, assignment, exercise, discussion, deep teamwork. And the third one is the self-study and self-research. In my course, you have all 3. Okay, your group will have to do the self-research. And the difference between credit system and traditional system. Okay, in a credit system, we would use the learning activities. Okay, different learning activities. Okay, in the credit system, we have personalized teaching for learners. Okay, and we encourage self-study and self-research capability, and also evaluate and self-evaluate of both teacher and learner. Okay. So in traditional approach, the teacher will provide the knowledge and will be the dominant person. They will fully decide the content, teaching method, the workload, okay, and the learners must obey. In the credit system, beside those two roles, they also have three more roles. Okay, the teacher, or I prefer the word instructor. They will advise the student about the learning process, involving the teaching or learning process, and also they will become the learner and also the researcher. It's not just teacher. Okay, and the learner role in the credit system, you, the student, we have the opportunity to become a decision maker and also the negotiator. You will negotiate to yourself, to the studying goal, to your teammates and classmates, and also to the teachers. Okay, so you'll be more active. And here is the important kind of learning that I want to show you. It's important that we realize after 2 weeks, we tend to remember only 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, or 30% of what we see. Okay, or better, 50% of what we hear and see at the same time. So for those learning method, we call it passive. We call them passive learning because you are quite passive. You are just receiving verbally or visually. Okay. However, if you say something during your study, you tend to remember 70% of what you say. So it's receiving and also participating. And you will remember about 90% of what you both say and do. Okay? So that's the best thing to do when you study. And that's why we encourage you in this course and also other courses. You try to say something, also try to do that. Okay? So our mini project will be the chance where you do something. Okay? Now, the attitude is very important for the success of anyone. So if you say you think you want to be successful, okay, that would be a very good motivation. And other people, failing people, they normally just think, I lie or I wish to be successful. So lie or wish, it means that if it's not happen, it's okay. Okay? But if you want to be successful, then you will do everything. Okay? You do everything to make it happen. You are fully responsible for what happened. Okay? Other people, failing people, okay, failing is not special. They only ready to do what they like to do, and they accuse other people. They bleed themselves, or just fool themselves about what happened. Okay. So this is the loop, successful loop. Oh, sorry, it's a picture, so I cannot change the text. I might have the picture edition later. Okay. So this is the failing loop. So if you think that you can do that, then you will try, and you will use almost all your capability. If you think you will fail anyway, so you won't do anything. Okay? And belief. So another thing related to the attitude stuff. Okay, you have to change your belief. You believe you are gifted. Okay? Your belief can give you exceptional power. So these are the steps. Please read and follow the step here. Okay? So 5 strong beliefs for successful people. I don't know until I teach this course. But long time ago, when I was at your age, when I was doing my first degree, I have one of these, but I didn't know it until I took this course. Okay, so can you guess which one is mine? Okay, so that's the first part.